Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming to the High Energy Entrepreneur Radio Show on the iNetpreneur Network. I'm Donna, and I'm glad you joined us this afternoon. Today, we have three incredible guests that we get to learn from. But before we get into that, three things that we need you to do. Be sure, number one, to subscribe to this channel.
Right
Two,
here.
make sure to bookmark all your networking activities at ntevents.net. And three, like us on our Facebook page. So, the iNetpreneur Network is where entrepreneurs, business owners, influencers, and experts come together to talk about their challenges and their triumphs, their tragedy and their impact. Let's get behind the stories and learn from their perspiration and their inspiration. By the way, I am joined here today with none other than Robert W. Jones. He is the owner and founder of Network Together. Robert will be joining me from time to time on the show and periodically being my guest host. Robert, welcome. Are there any notable announcements today we have for our members and guests?
Well, I want to say thank you very much. It's always such a blessing to be on the show with you, Donna, and I'm really excited with our speakers that we have here today.
Me too.
A few things. One of them is, right before the radio show, Network Together actually has the iNetrepreneur virtual mastermind. That's where entrepreneurs can come together and talk about their issues, their problems, their pain points, so to speak, where we help solve their pain point with what we call the ask. And the ask is, is it an A-level priority that needs to be solved now? Is it a specific question? And, do we have the team that can provide the knowledge to help you out? So it's a really good mastermind. We've only had two in, but, I have an open offer. You can go to NT Events. It's on Thursday at 1 p.m. I'm also excited, Donna, because we were a part of this wonderful radio show, and this is our second episode ever, and we have a great team. Also, I just got off the phone with Brian Wright today, and we are looking at our launch date for our next iNetrepreneur magazine. And like the radio show, the iNetrepreneur magazine is a way that entrepreneurs can get their story heard. And we also created another way to get the story heard, because not only is it going to be in our printed version, we just created a flip mechanism, so we'll be able to send it out in the flip format, not just the PDF format, for all of our members and guests and others that are interested in the power of networking. So thank you again, Donna, for having me here.
Well, thank you, Robert. And, I'd just like to add real quick, if you have been on the edge, if you will, about writing an article about who you are and what you do, don't be. This is a way to people to see the expert that you are, because you are truly an expert in your field. And it is a way to get out there and be seen and heard. And, it's really a blessing.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Donna. We've had Brandon Barnum, we've had Laurel Langmeyer, we've had Sharon Lecter, Daniel Miller. We've had incredible people in the magazine that have been interviewed and have shared their story. But what's even great is my financial planner has told me for a very, very long time, you are the company that you keep. Well, I tell you what, if you have an article in that magazine, that's pretty good company to be in. So for our members, we have a subscriber list of over 17,000 people who are interested in finding out who you are. And it really is a great way to be seen by so many people. So thank you for bringing it up, Donna.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit real quick about some of our new virtual, for anybody who doesn't know, our virtual meetings.
Well, what really happened is we had some 15 to 16 meetings and events each and every week, and then this silly thing called the Corona beer virus came along, darn it. And I don't mean to make light of it. I know, but it overnight, my wife and I, Sean Sean Jones with Network Together, we had to pivot 180 degrees, going from a totally in-person organization that had over 1,000 meetings, events every year, to a total virtual organization. Right. And I mean, we are still getting the word out about that. But one of the things that I've been finding with the virtual meetings is it's getting people together that wouldn't otherwise get together if they had to drive, fly, walk, or ride their carrier pigeon there. Right. So I'm really excited about how everyone is able to get together and actually still do business.
Exactly.
One of our members says, business, business always happens. Well, darn it, now I butchered that one, but it never sleeps, but it may go to someone else if you're sleeping. So at any rate, right. Don't be asleep. Go to the virtual chapters, get your voice heard, be seen, connect with others, and let's keep our doors open for business.
Absolutely. And one of the things I always say is, our bills don't stop. Just because we're in the middle of this virus doesn't mean our bills stop. So neither should you. Get heard and get seen, and let's do business together.
That's right. I love that, because it seems like my mailbox is certainly more of bills than it's cards. So I'm really excited with Patti being here on the day. She'll bring some joy with us as well. So
absolutely. Well, I'm really excited, Robert, to introduce our guest today. And so in our first segment, we have Donna Sporaco Meador. I knew I was going to mess it up. I know. And I have a hard last name, so I get it.
Yeah. Metter.
Better
with better.
There we go. Better, but metter. Well, Donna, thank you so much for finding the time to be here with us today. I'm really excited to have you on here. And before we get into the nitty gritty of it, tell me a few things on your background. Like, I know you're not from here.
No. Well, at least you got my first name right, Donna.
I know that was a tough one for me, but I did it.
I was born in Ohio, raised in New Jersey, and living right outside, about 20 minutes outside of Manhattan, and lived there for 25 years. I cannot complain. I had a wonderful childhood. I grew up on a street with like 120 kids, right? Somebody was always going out to play kickball or something. And then moved to Brooklyn and lived there for 25 years. So I always make a joke and say, if you get me upset, it's according to am I going to come out with my Jersey or my New York? Like, what am I going to go Jersey on you, or am I going to go New York on you? Yeah.
I love it. Well, I have one question. What part of Ohio?
Akron.
Okay. So I lived for over 15 years in Ohio, just out in Columbus area. Yeah, so I'm a big Buckeye fan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you know what? I'm going to brag about you before we get in any further, because what I know about you is, first of all, you're a phenomenal person and an inspiration to so many. So thank you so much for that. But you are a Legal Shield independent associate. You are the founder of A Daily Dose of Donna and a former employee of People Express Airlines. Right? Yeah. So... and I'm just going to say this real quick. If you see me moving, I've got a 4-foot dog that thinks he wants to come right through here now, because we are all at home, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about all the things you've done. What brought you to where you are now? Well,
it's interesting. Adversity gets us to go places we would never think to go otherwise. And I was looking at my chronicle order of how I've had major pivots in my life. And I go back to the 1990s, when I had chronic fatigue for 6 to 8 years, and recovered from that in a great way. So and when I got healthier, I changed careers. So now I'm doing a career change. 9/11 hits. Another career change, 2008 hits, a location change, and a career change. So I just kept seeing, and it wasn't that I consciously said, oh, I'm going to go make a change. I just said, okay, pivot. That's the key, It takes courage to do that. And I can only say that now in hindsight, because at the time it just made sense to do those things. But I've had other people say, wow, I could never do what you do. And I'm thinking, well, what are my options? And now we have, yes, Robert, the corona beer virus, and we're pivoting again. And I have been a legal plan advocate for the last 9 years, which is amazing. And I'm pivoting in the way I do business, personally, just because I'm an extrovert. But so I miss being in front of people and touching people and hugging people. But I'm still out there. You're right, Donna. We have to be out there. People need us.
So what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong, your life took, if you will, an evolution of turns to get you where you are now.
Well put. Thank you. Well put.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome. So what is on your business? I want to go back a little bit. So what would be 3 things that made you the expert in your field right now? What things did you carry with you from your life and brought you forth?
I'm the one of 6 children. I'm the middle. That's a great resource when you have that kind of a collaboration. But when you're siblings, they're not really collaborating, are they?
You're fighting.
And leaving New York after 2008 with my husband and figuring out what we needed to do next to make things work, it opened up my mind and my heart to understand that I wanted to look for something with residual income.
Right.
That was first and foremost on my list, because when I got laid off in 2008, there was no money coming in. I got denied unemployment and did not know about Legal Shield. I had no recourse. I didn't know what to do. And then the third thing is, when I got out here, I realized very quickly that selling health insurance was not a fit for me. I want people to love on me. I want to love on you. Nobody was happy talking to me about health insurance. But this is the value of networking, you guys. I mean, Donna, I met my late husband networking in Manhattan. Networking. Wow. Never saw him coming, right? Now, here I am out in Arizona with him, and I discover Legal Shield. Networking. I never heard of it before, only to find out my very own sister was a member for 10 years. Never.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Life has a way.
Life has a way. Just be open to it.
Right?
Yeah.
Open. Have that energy about you that you can roll with the punches.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. If we don't roll with them, it's we're going to get steamrolled.
Steamrolled. And, you know, when my husband passed away, Donna, and this is not a story of despair. This is not it. But I hit the ground, and I knew instinctively that there was more to me than I didn't want to be known as the widow. I didn't want to be squirming on the floor like a cockroach. I wanted to set my dial and look deliberately for joy and go out and figure out how to help people. You know, I took the time. Grieving, I don't know that it ever stops, but I'm remarried. I'm a newlywed. I have an amazing life. I've got amazing people in my world. One of the biggest lessons I learned was let people love you the way they know how. Right. And the benefits that we bring to the table make sense in my world, right? So I get to, entrepreneurs collaborate with me all the time because they want to practice safe success. They want to live in joy, and they want to eliminate stress. And I help them do that.
I love that. I love that. It's interesting to me because I love that we can connect virtually amidst this COVID-19. I'm like you. I'm high energy. That's what I do. I'm a high energy performance coach. And I miss my hugs. I miss my hugs with people, right? But, we still have this energy through this beautiful connection of modern age technology, and the thing is what you do. I mean, I would love for people who don't know, I would love for you to give some examples of exactly what Legal Shield can do for them, from the average everyday person to a business, an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Thank you. Joining Network Together has been an amazing experience for me. And I originally came on board, ironically enough, because I wanted to get on stages and tell my story and wrap those very stories into it so people understand that issues don't start off as legal issues. They start off as issues and then you ignore them. Right. So, in being a member and a client, for 9 years of Legal Shield, I've had phone calls with attorneys, legal counsel, opened up 75 cases, and I will give you a few details, and reaped the benefits of upwards of $24,000 because I had legal counsel. I feel like it's the biggest secret that wealthy people don't share with us. Like, they all have attorneys. Right. They're going to make smart decisions. And so, people are fed up, right, with risking their security and peace of mind. So now is the time for me to be out there more than ever to let them know there's this resource. So to your question, Donna, I had a gym membership problem when I first moved to Arizona, and I had a coupon for 3 free months, but no sooner did I walk out the door, I was being charged on a monthly basis. I had signed a contract unbeknownst to myself, and they wouldn't let me out of the contract, and I was tearing my hair out. And I remembered I had this legal thing. So I called up Legal Shield and they wrote a letter for me, and everything I'm doing is under my membership. Right. And doing anything else other than picking up the phone, tapping the app, and making my phone call, because we have an app now, right? So I call up, they write a letter for me, and the problem goes away. I get a credit of $350 back on my credit card because I had a lawyer tell them the same thing I was telling them, but nobody was listening to me.
Right, because you didn't have the Esquire behind your name.
No. And then in a more dramatic situation, when my late husband passed away, he was in Mexico. I had a cancer policy on him, but it stated in the contract that they would only pay out if he was in the States. So when I got the denial letter and them pointing saying he had to be here, I almost did not take my own advice. It took me a few months to come to my senses and go, what am I doing? You never take you never listen to a no unless your lawyer says correct. Okay. Right. So I called up my attorney. I said, what are my options? Do I have any? Am I being treated fairly? That's all I wanted to know. Mm-hmm. And they wrote a letter to the insurance company, and I got upwards of $13,000. But nobody else is going to do that. You're not going to hire an attorney to find out if what you're reading in a contract is correct. That saddens me.
It is, because we in life, and I'm very familiar with Legal Shield, and I think it's a beautiful thing. Here's the thing. As an everyday person, if you will, we're not in the upper 1%. Right. So we don't have a lawyer at our phone call disposal. Hey, George, I need some help.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is how this works for everybody on an affordable level.
Yeah. Correct? It's like having a lawyer on retainer for $25 a month. Now we have plans for businesses, but you're right. I mean, I got a debt collection letter in the mail for $198 when I moved out of New York. And I thought I shouldn't have, this is not fair. But what happens if I don't have an attorney or I don't pay for it? If I don't pay it to make it go away, it ends up on my credit report.
Right. And
then I can't get a mortgage. So I just called my lawyer. What are my rights? Do I have any options? And they wrote a letter. And I got a letter from the collection agency saying, per your request, we're closing the case. And again, Donna, I had been telling them to close the case. They weren't listening to me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
So everyday things, traffic tickets. Now, we're not here to fix things, but you're right, Donna. We're everyday people living life. Life shows up.
Life happens.
Let me tell you something. I'm never going to take the spare tire out of the trunk of my car, even though I never expect to get a flat.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I keep my legal plan in place, and I call about everything I can think of. If I think about it twice, I'm making the call.
I love that. So I would love, really quick, how do we get a hold of you? Tell everybody who's listening, who's watching, how we can get hold of you.
Thank you. The easiest and simplest way is text or call me at 516-3 516-395-8219. I will respond. 516-395-8219. Thank you, Donna.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure having you here today. Thank you. Okay, our next guest, I'm really excited. I have known Patti for a while. Hi, Patti.
Hi, Donna. How are you?
I'm good. Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much.
you.
Yes, thank you so much for, having time to be on the show today. I'm super excited about having you here with us. And I'd like, real quick before we go in it, take a few moments to kind of brag on you, if I could, Patti. So Patti is the owner of Power Word Postcards, and she is a former kindergarten teacher here in the Valley for, if I believe right, 24 years.
Yeah, 27.
Oh, okay. I was like, I knew it was at least 24. And you are the mother of 4 boys.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. That's a hard job. I was a single mom of 3 kids, and yeah, that was tough. They're all grown now. So I'm like, thank you so much. They're all grown. So thank you so much for coming. Where, before we get into your business, where are you originally from?
So that's a great story. My dad was in the Navy, and I was born in Oklahoma, but we moved every single year of my life. And I went to 12 elementary schools and 1 middle school and 4 high schools. So I've lived all over the United States and Japan. And I settled in Arizona in 1984. So I've been here in Arizona since then, but I really was living everywhere.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Not everybody can say that.
No.
That is really awesome. I'm curious, so you started out as a kindergarten teacher.
Yes.
Okay. And then you've gone over into the Power Word postcards. So how did that happen?
So how it happened was I was a kindergarten teacher, and like you said, I had 4 boys, and I was going through a divorce and just needed something to lift my spirits. And so I started channeling my inner kindergarten and cutting out words out of magazines. And that made me feel better. And then I printed them out, and I made these cards, and I started mailing them to my friends, and that made me feel better. And then I even mailed them to myself because I was worth a stamp, and that made me feel really good too. So I was doing it as a hobbypreneur while I was teaching for the majority of my, all of my teaching career. I was doing it selling my cards at farmers markets, and it was just a hobby. It was just something to lighten my spirits and to share the joy with others. And then I decided that I didn't want to be a hobbypreneur, and I moved to be a wannapreneur. I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I was a wannapreneur for a little while because I didn't really know how to do both things of being a full-time teacher and a full-time mom and a full-time business owner. And then I metamorphosed into an entrepreneur, and it became my business. I retired teaching about 5 years ago, and I've been doing Power Word postcards full-time ever since.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So tell us a little bit about some of the reasonings for the postcards for entrepreneurs. So
okay, I would be happy to. So
I'm really excited for you to share this.
Yes. So as a business owner, it's really important to stay in front of your customers, your clients, your members, your employees. Happy employees work harder. And if the business owner is once a quarter sending them a handwritten postcard, appreciating their work ethic, really reaching out to them, telling them that they do a good job, that they're valued, that's going to enhance your business because your employees are going to be more dedicated to their job and work harder. As far as your clients and customers, it really is front of mind, especially in those businesses like real estate agents who, once they sell a house, if they want referrals from that person that they just worked with, they need to stay in touch with them, sending them a birthday card, sending them a life event card, sending them a happy anniversary card for being in your house for 2 years. And just keeping that relationship open, because once that relationship is open, then people will refer you to their friends. Look, Donna she was a great real estate agent and she got me a house and now she sends me cards and stays in touch with me. So you should go to Donna to buy your next house. So that's what I really strongly believe in. It's providing really special touch points. I do provide a service where we do the handwritten message for you. If you're too busy running your business or being your own entrepreneur, I do have a service where we will write the handwritten message for you.
How do you keep track of all that?
How do we keep track of all of that? It's really easy. I'm a paper pencil person, and I have files of my clients in what happens, but technology these days makes it really super easy too. So if you sign up with a subscription pack, then it's all done online, and then you email me your names and addresses of your people. You can even tell me what message you want to write, or I can figure it out and write something for you. So on my website, it's all spelled out really nice, and it's really super easy.
And do you have different levels for, say, a business person versus just just somebody who likes to send out cards, but say maybe, they're having trouble writing and they can't do that anymore?
Yes, that's an excellent question. So on my website, I have 2 different categories. I have for business, and the for business is you can get 100 cards. It's called the prepaid pack. So 100 cards, and you do the handwriting yourself, because a lot of people want the message to come from them. Or you can sign up for the 10 cards a month, 20 cards a month, 50 cards a month subscription packs, and we will do the writing for you. So that's for the business. On my website, there's a category, it just says for business. And then it says for personal. So for personal, you can buy 1 card at a time. If you want 1 card at a time, the best deal is to buy 10 cards at a reduced price. And that there's a different pricing for if you want to write your own message and get product only, or if you want us to write your message on, like if you want to send a birthday card to your dad, but you always forget when his birthday is, we can automatically do that for you. So both options are available for the handwritten message for the service that we provide on the business side as well as the personal side.
I love that. I love that, because I know, as we get older, for folks who are aging and maybe can't write anymore, that you can do that and they still have that control. So that is a beautiful service. Thank you so much. Yeah. So real quick, we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes, but what do you do when you take off your entrepreneurial hat?
What do I do?
What's your downtime?
My downtime, I get up very early in the morning, 3:30 or 4:30, depending on the day, depending on when my body wakes up. And I journal and I meditate, and I call it my spiritual gym, and I just really get grounded and get centered with my day, my affirmations, my mantras, my intentions, all of those things I set, and I have a really good start to the day. At the end of the day, I am like beat, and I love to watch silly shows on TV. My husband Larry and I, we like to watch TV, and we just prop up our feet and get comfy, and I just kind of veg out watching TV. But I also like to play golf. So we're on the golf course. We haven't been so much right now, but we do like to play golf too.
Awesome. I love that. Patti, really quick, where can everybody get a hold of you?
So it's really easy. It's powerwordpostcards.com is my website. I'm on Instagram, Power Word Postcards. I'm on LinkedIn as Patti Mamalis. I'm on YouTube as Power Word Postcards. Facebook, Power Word Postcards. So it's pretty easy. If you type in Power Word Postcards, you'll be able to find me.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and joining us today and explaining who you are and the power of postcards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Patti. Our next guest is none other than Jacque Zoccoli. Hi, Jacque.
How did we get off to the side? Okay. I need to move a very small. Oh, maybe that's no, that's worse. Okay, that's better. I guess.
There you go.
That's strange. Oh, too much.
Well,
there
Jacque,
we go. That's pretty close. Yeah, that's good.
There we go. Perfect. Jacque is, I have known Jacque, had the pleasure and the honor of knowing Jacque and being honored to be her friend for almost 4 years now. So Jacque is the owner of Network Builders of Arizona. She works with many nonprofits tirelessly, works with many of them. And she is the mother of, I believe, 4 sons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And she is, her greatest gift is her family, spending time with her husband, her children, and her grandchildren. Mm-hmm. So Jacque, welcome. I am so excited to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's fun to be here. I've always liked to talk to you, Donna. We always come to different depths than we did. We explore different things. You and I could find something to get excited about even now.
We can. Our one-on-ones are like 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, you did that? Oh, cool. Let's. What about we do this?
Right?
It's kind of contagious. It's hard to keep it straight.
So before we get into where you are today and how you got here, give us a little bit of background on yourself, Jacque, about, where you came from. Let's just start with that. Where were you born and raised?
Well, I won't go into the long story that my mentor usually says. Don't tell me what your mother was wearing the day you were born. We won't go there, but we will do a little cliff notes of those that are old enough to know what cliff notes are. Born and raised in San Leandro, California, and went to San Jose State. Graduated with what no one would have expected. I would ask you what that would be, but we haven't got that much time. Physical education teacher. And from that went into the Peace Corps. I got married and went into the Peace Corps and went into Liberia, West Africa for a couple of years. Then I went to the corporate world for several years, enough to know that I didn't want to be there. And then I started my own businesses in '86. So it's been about 35 years, I think I recall that I typed. Yeah, 34 years. At that point, the first thing I was doing desktop publishing, which some of you again don't know because I'm so old. But desktop publishing is the way you do all kinds of flyers and brochures and mailers on the computer. So I started in with that and began to teach people how to do that in community colleges and loved it. Though what happened was I was in a Chamber of Commerce meeting and looking around at the wall and said, I'm paying $250 for what? And at that point, I started networking groups in California and the Bay Area and the Chamber of Commerce and all over and franchise and everything because business people didn't have a clue how to really get to know each other. Right. So building relationships was really where that started and then expanded, doing very much the same things. And then here into Arizona, coaching people on how to build alliances versus just customers, because that's a one-shot thing unless you're real lucky. And yet it's the building of the teams to become word of mouth. And then the global came into effect after the Peace Corps. It was reunited in my world in 2016. So now I connect people all over the world and in as many countries as I possibly can.
What made you move to Arizona?
2 of the 4 kids.
2 of the 4 kids. Okay. All right.
And their kids. The grandchildren, the 11 grandchildren, they just kind of come together as a package.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to explain to everyone who doesn't know you, who's listening, exactly how your business works and what you do, because it is so fascinating for me knowing you, how your mind works and connects people. And I love that. I love that. So would you please take some time and explain that?
Okay, what some people have already coined it, like Mike Brown, Coach Mike Brown, he figured it out. I come to the table with my database.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a hard time even getting that in a bag, but my database is in my brain, believe it
Right.
or not. If anything happened to my brain, I'd be really in a bad way. But the point is, as I'm speaking to people, and no matter where we start in the conversation, my first thought is commonalities.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I know typically doing the same thing, or the before or after what you're doing? Because I want to build an alliance team for you. That's my total
Mm-hmm.
purpose, is to be that catalyst for spontaneous combustion. And in the process, I remember an old saying I used to say all the time: I aspire to inspire
Mm-hmm.
before I expire. And that's exactly what I do, because I love to get people to look at new niches
Mm-hmm.
and to look at the people that could be there with them. So as a team, they can collaborate and go toward the same goal, because you get so much more when you actually work together. So I am really a team builder, mostly for alliances, for people to see the value. So I will, for instance, go with you, just as we're doing now, and be able to say, okay, let me show you the business, the different relationships, the resource or the alliance or the strategic alliance. Now, once you get that concept, then we go into the database and now bring out 4 people that are targeting the same audience. And you go, really? And I said, yeah, not the customer. Well, they may be your customer, but you're looking not for the customer. You're looking for people to create a team around you where you can work together. I'm the community builder. That's what I do. I want to build a community around whomever, so that they can have more power and obviously be remarkable, so that they will become word of mouth. I don't have to explain word of mouth. Everybody knows that's where you want to be, because you can't tell anybody enough yourself. You want somebody else to do it that you know, like, and trust. So I help to develop those teams, most of which are sitting in your own database.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love this. I always look at you as you are the foundation builder.
Yeah.
You are. You're the foundation builder. You know, you have to have that solid foundation so you can put your walls up and your roof and grow.
Yeah.
And that's how I see what you do. I love it, because if you haven't met Jacque, you really need to. She has just an immense amount of people that she knows and can connect people with. But how she does it in your own database is simply amazing.
It's so fun. It is so fun.
It is. I mean, she just gets in there and says, well, gee, Donna, you have this and you have this and you have this. And, you know, sometimes, let's be honest, it takes a while for us to meet up with other people because we're all busy, but it's there.
That's right. You've got the gold mine. You're sitting on it. Why are you sitting? Well, because I don't know what to do with it is why I'm sitting on it. I talk to these people, but now what? Do I have to commit? Well, yeah, you do. You have to work together as a team. I'm going to show you how to do that.
Right. So so just give some really quick examples. Say of somebody in a business, how they can pull from their own phone, from their own contact phone.
Sure. All you need to do is to know your target audience. That's the first thing. If you don't know your target audience, we got a long ways to go. So you got to know your target audience. Then you look at the people that you know. You got them in categories. This one's an accountant. This one's a mortgage person. This one's a realtor. Even in your brain, even if you don't have the categories created, I know there are many of you out there, but you know those people as to what they do as a business. And if they're customers, if they're your customers, darn, you should know that too. You know, some people don't. Well, they bought the widget. Bye. No, they should know that too. So when you look at your phone, Figure out if they see your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Do they see your target audience? It's only that simple. And that's why you want to build them as an alliance, to build a different relationship with them other than the guy that bought the widget.
Right.
You want to build something that now we can be a team. Let's look at my database and yours. I mean, not literally, but let's do something we can do together.
Let's collaborate together.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So
collaborate
it's
together.
looking at I don't care if it's on your phone or where it is. Look at the people that you know, your sphere of influence, and find the ones that are already working fine with you. So-and-so sent me a referral the other day. Well, what does so-and-so do? Oh, well, they do this. Well, maybe other people that do the same thing might be good to send you a referral. Or my favorite is, who's before you? When you look at your client, what do they do before they get to you? In your case, Donna, maybe they've been on drugs, they've had a hard time, they don't know where they're going, they don't have a clue of their background. That's the before. Who else is with them?
Right.
It might be a counselor of other kinds, or a nutritional coach, or somebody in the social system, or whatever it happens to be. That's your alliance. Now, the after, I'm going the wrong direction. My hand's going the wrong way, but you got the idea. What happens after you? I can't figure that out. Okay. What happens after you? Where do you send them? What's next? Where do they go? What happens? Those are your alliance. That's your alliance. So you've got the before and the after. Not hard to figure out. So now, what if I got those people together? I could have Jackie coach them. Yeah, I do that with the health focus. I have people that are all targeting health. I coach them. Let's go to that audience together.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people miss opportunities. So in what I do in coaching, high energy performance coaching, it isn't just if somebody's energy is wrong. I mean, it is that, but it doesn't have to say necessarily be you. Maybe you're dealing with somebody whose father is or parent is sick. That creates a dynamic that puts that balance of energy out. And that's kind of what you're talking about. It's more than just one thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all that's in that environment by listening, by understanding, by listening. What is it that actually was happening? What is it that I know? Who is it that I know that could follow up with that answer to you? And then the next is I give an email and go into as much excruciating detail as I possibly can. You need to meet this person. And the reason is because you can do this together. And by the way, this project will come out of it and you'll be word of mouth. Sometimes I have to hold their hands. You know, this is why I'm introducing you. Pay attention.
Right. And, you know, the one thing that I've learned over the years is shut up a little more and listen a lot more.
Absolutely.
Because that's how we find what people need. And, you know, when you have a servant heart, that's what we want to do. And sometimes, you know, we get so excited about what we do that we forget to listen.
Yeah. And it's really important. And I have my problem, to be very vulnerable. My problem is I assume they need X.
Right.
Did they say they need X? Not really.
Maybe they need Y.
Exactly. Did I? Don't you need somebody to do blah, blah, blah? Well, not really. Well, tell me what it is. Who is it that I can give you? Tell me what it is that you really would like to have happen. Give me that picture. That's the one I just got recently. Give me the picture of the success you want to see. Give me that picture, and then I fill in all the spaces that are going to get there for you. So it's the vision that you give me that I listen to as strong as I possibly can. Now I know the people in that path and I can help you. See, but unless I make assumptions, it's not fair. It's really not fair to them to make that assumption because I might give them a referral. They go, ho hum, I didn't really want this one. What do you think you're doing? You know? So.
Right. But I think it's essential for growth for us to all step back and really, truly breathe into our own space of what we want. And that's, I guess, a way I see what you do. You know, you make me, when we had our time, you made me step back, breathe into my space, and look at all the things I want to create. And it's not just one dimensional, at least not in my business. It isn't one dimensional. There's many veins, if you will, off of high energy performance coaching. And that's what you give to other people.
Yeah, it's the seeing the opportunities you haven't even paid attention to. I see other niches that you haven't seen.
Right.
And right now, the most important thing right now is that we have abundance. We have the biggest abundance in my life that I've ever had right this minute. And it's the fact that you have a captive audience. And if you just use your database and say, you know what? We can talk just like we're doing right now, you and I.
Yeah.
We can talk and I can find out where you are and how I can help you to go. This is the biggest abundance. You've got them. You don't have to go out and chase them or figure out where to be.
Right.
All you have to do is to look in your database. And I tell people all the time, I want you to talk to 2 people in your database that you haven't talked to. I don't care if it's a friend or who it is. Talk to them now. They want to have some, we're social. That's us. That's what people are. Take that advantage. Find out, listen when you talk. And what's the most positive thing that's come out of this thing for you? Well, what will this positively help you in the future? What's this going to do to impact you in a positive way? Don't ever dwell on the pain.
Right.
We all know that. It's
and how you can impact others.
Exactly.
And how you can impact the other.
Perfect. Absolutely. It's a perfect playground. Just as Patti was doing. Patti has a perfect playground. We still get mail last time I checked. I got a bill the other day.
Yeah.
Who's doing that? They're doing this to a certain degree, but why not a postcard?
Right.
I'll pay attention to a postcard. That's cool. And you know what? I didn't have to do anything for it. That's really kind of neat. And you care about me?
Right.
You really care about me? Well, yeah. Who's doing it? Nobody's doing it. It's perfect.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a win-win all the way around. So, what do you do? What do you do when you aren't in your entrepreneurial business format? What do you do for Jacque? What's your downtime that makes Jacque rejuvenate so that you can come out and give to everybody again?
In less than 2 minutes, I can do this. It's real easy. I love to be in nature. Nature is probably my biggest high. I have a brand new member of my family. This will make everybody else happy.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And yes, this also is what I do in my spare time, is raise another child.
Yes.
And so I love to be in nature. That's my biggest high. I could sit in nature forever. Put me by a stream, put me by anything that's natural and being with God, and I am a very happy camper or graphics. So that's it right there.
I love it. I love it. Well, Jacque, I can't thank you enough for joining us today and taking the time out of your busy life and your business and being with us today. It has meant the world to me that you joined us here on. Thank you. That was my next question. So I love it. So it's so everyone can read it. So say it out loud too.
NetworkBuildersArizona.com, 480-708-1557. Okay. So you don't have to go through it. You don't have time.
I love it. Thank you, Jacque. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Wow. What a show. So I really want to thank all of our speakers who came on today, members and guests of the audience. I know that everybody is super busy, but you chose to spend this time today with us. Real quick, I'm excited. Next week, we have, hey, Robert.
Hey. I wanted to jump in to kind of wrap up a few things. I just want to say thank you for everyone putting up to me in the background. You know, I love being the foil in the background, working with Donna on the show. But, just some things, Donna, I just wanted to point out a few things, just, Donna Sporaco, just a takeaway about, being the attorney in your pocket, or Patti Mamalis,
Right.
talking about appreciation marketing and being a touch point in this time of need. And then lastly, Jacque Zoccoli, really being a community builder. And, I just wanted to say, Donna, I liked how you summed that up about how, Jacque provides, a foundation. We went from seed to shelf just with our 3 speakers today on what they bring, to the Network Together community and
Right.
business owners at large. It's like I felt like I was a part of 3 like lifeboats today.
Right.
And I was just so excited to be a part of everyone. So I just had to jump in here
I
and
know,
just,
thank
give me my
you.
2 cents on that.
No, I love it. I love it because it's true. I mean, everyone has such a unique aspect in what they do, and they really are so servant hearted, and that's the beautiful thing about what they do. Of course, we all eat and compete and
Yeah,
do all those things, but their servant's heart in how they do their business and they go about it is what's so beautiful.
absolutely. And what do we always say, Don? It's like, how do business owners get ahead? They serve people. They don't mess up who they're serving, and then they serve more people,
Right.
right? And I think all 3 of them do that today. I'm ready to eat from their food bucket. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely, absolutely. So it was a really beautiful show today. I'm really excited. Robert, tell us who next week's guests are.
Well, we're still working on a couple of our guests for next week, but I've put out. I know that Dr. Karen Perkins is who's in Utah. She's come down. She's put on quite a few good events for us. She was at our iNetwork Expo.
Yes.
She's a part of the movie How Thoughts Become Things. She will be on our show next week. I'm very
Yay!
excited about that.
She is incredible.
She is incredible.
Yes.
We're looking at doing a makeup interview with Katie Evans,
Mhm.
and she is the education committee chairperson for Network Together, and she just sparkles like
Oh, she
no
does.
other, doesn't she?
Yes.
And then lastly, another member who's coming on board named Brian Bogart. He has just a compelling story. As a child, his arm was severed off his body, and they actually had to put his arm, attach it back to the body. And, he has use of it today. But, what a story to go from, someone who they weren't even sure if he was going to, remain alive, yet to now he's a thriving entrepreneur and public speaker. And I'm really interested in hearing from Brian Bogart next week. So I will keep pursuing him and get us on the show.
Absolutely. So, that's part of who we are. That's part of why the High Energy Entrepreneur Radio Show was created. And so that everyone can see how is it you put it, Robert? Not everybody is born an entrepreneur. Sometimes we're made.
Created.
We're
Yeah.
created. Yes.
Yeah.
And that is the case. And that, that is where the triumph to tragedy comes in. That you've got the tragedy, you've got your triumphs, and sometimes they go back and forth, but you overcome it. And that's a beautiful case of overcoming that.
Yeah. And I want to remind everyone, Network Together is a part of the iNetrepreneur Network. We have face group pages. We have this radio show. We have a wonderful magazine. We have 15 virtual meetings, events, and masterminds every week.
And Scottsdale's is tomorrow.
And well, go figure. Scottsdale's tomorrow. And I like to say this: if you can't find your place in the community that has that many offerings, you're probably in the wrong business. So find your space, find your place, and network together. And really, I feel like today, come party with us.
Absolutely. Come party with us. And you know what, Robert, we're going to be back next week.
Yes.
Yes. So
Thanks, Donna.
really quick, 3 things, everybody. Subscribe to this channel. Bookmark your networking activities at ntevents.net and like us on our Facebook page. And if you want any more information, find us at networktogether.net. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. And I can't wait to see you next week. Have a great one, guys.